love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you. Oh, yes, I love her like you.
Chat, what's popping? What's popping? What's popping? How we feeling? Everybody feeling good? Everybody living good? Merry Christmas or day after, however you want to word it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Um, this will not be a long, drawn out thing. Me and Terrence are both a bit under the weather. Um,
Me more specifically.
that part, because God don't play about His children, so they not gonna be able to get me that like that no way anyway.
Okay.
Can't go, can't go.
Okay.
No cat. Ah, give people maybe like a minute and a half to get in. How was y'all's Christmas, man? Terrence, what's popping, bro? You all right? You good? You got some water on hand, bro? Good. That's what you need. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Ooh, shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
yeah, it's doing you in.
it's been bad. It's been a bad past couple of days.
Hate to hear that, man. Hate to hear that. Did that affect your Christmas, I assume?
Yeah, I still went home, but I didn't get to go and like visit everybody that I wanted to because one, my grandma was sick too. She got whatever the fuck is going around, um, and I didn't want to get anybody else sick. And so I just went to my sister's crib, ate or whatever, and then I came back to the city.
Oh, okay. Sorry to
Nothing
hear
crazy.
that, man.
Nothing too crazy.
I feel it. Uh yeah, so like I said, man, we got like 45 minutes tonight, bro. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, we're not gonna make this a long, drawn out thing tonight. Like I said, my co-host, he's a bit under the weather, as am I. Him more so than me. Um, Also, I have family in town, stuff like that, man. So we just wanted to hop on. Sorry for the late notification. I know I didn't put the tweet out until maybe about an hour ago that we were going live tonight. But I did want to make sure that we hopped on and do our game preview, things like that, because I know that you guys, you know, this is something that you guys look forward to, just being able to interact with us live, um, and just looking into the game and looking into the matchup for the Carolina Panthers this week. So your Carolina Panthers are 8-7 heading into week 17 at home versus the Seattle Seahawks. Huge matchup, huge opportunity for the Carolina Panthers yet again. Just to go over some quick playoff scenarios for those that aren't aware of what's going on and kind of the magnitude of this week or lack thereof, depending on how you look at it. Should the Carolina Panthers win this week, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers loss, the Carolina Panthers will be NFC South champions for the first time since 2015. Now, obviously, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win and the Panthers win, then everything is pushed to the table week 18. The same is true if the Panthers lose and the Bucks win. The Carolina Panthers cannot lose the division this week, which is why it was so imperative last week to get the job done against Tampa Bay, because you set yourself up to still hold your own destiny within your hands. So, welcome to FPFO Live. Like I said, we're going to go kind of quick tonight, so just bear with us. I hope everybody had a phenomenal Christmas. I hope Santa Claus gave y'all everything that y'all asked for. I know as men, we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't really get looked out for like that for real. But whatever things that you guys did ask for, I hope that y'all were blessed with that this season. And also I hope that you guys had the opportunity to spend time with family, because that's, to me, that's the most important thing. That's the reason for the season is family time, giving back, and giving, and not necessarily as much as receiving. So again, I hope you guys had a merry Christmas, and I will reemphasize Merry Christmas to the ones that we didn't have the opportunity to tell on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. when we drop our fully produced podcast. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Bloody was popping. Omar was popping. Let me see who else is in the chat, man. Who else is active? Eternal was popping. Shout out to you. Omar was popping. Glad you were able to catch us live tonight, man. So shout out to everybody
Hmm.
that's, like I said, in the chat. If you guys aren't familiar with our YouTube channel, and you're watching on Twitter right now, go over to YouTube at For Panthers Fans Only. Like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. Also, if you haven't tapped in with us on social media, you can do that right now at For Panthers Fans Only on TikTok and Instagram, at FPFO_podcast on X. We had a lot of motion so far this week. on the YouTube channel. So that's phenomenal. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Shout out to everybody that might catch this on the playback rather. That's new. And if you are new, y'all can take a look at some of the things that me and Terrence have on right now. This is our Protect the House exclusive Protect the Bank t-shirt via FPFO that I have on. Also, you have the opportunity to see our OG Carolina Reaper hoodie. A lot of people asked for it, and it's obvious in the sales that was one of the pieces that you guys were most excited about, just based on the way they've been moving so far. So if you haven't already, understand supplies are limited. We have a couple available still of the Carolina Reaper hoodies. We have a few of the Protect the Bank t-shirts available as well. Go over to 4PanthersFansOnly.com right now and go put your order in. I will make sure that everything is shipped out on Monday. I told you guys that we were going to get everything shipped out before Christmas. We did. Some of you guys were blessed enough to get your orders before Christmas, so that was great. A couple of people I know are still waiting with the December 28th, I believe, delivery date, and some as late as December 29th. So for those of you guys that may be out of state or whatever the case may be, apologies, but I was very, very transparent. We were very transparent about how everything was going to go with the drop and how the pre-orders were going to be handled. So we got them shipped out. And again, if you go over to 4 Panthers Fans Only right now, we do have all items on hand. So your item will be shipped out the next business day from when you purchase. So that's the intro. Like I said, welcome to FPFO Live. I'm your host, JJ.
I'm your co-host Terrence. And speaking of like just the merch, like the hoodies, very good quality. Keep you warm, very warm. They feel different than the shirts. They feel different than a lot of hoodies that I've worn or that I own rather. It's a very different quality, but it feels very good. So definitely worth buying. Worth the money. So definitely go cop while we still have some in stock. As JJ said, limited supply, but go get that ASAP.
For sure. And I'll be honest, you said worth the money. To be honest, I think that niggas is real life getting a deal with them hoodies. If I'm just
Yes.
keeping a stack and just my background in streetwear, I'd say niggas is real life getting off because those are $85 pieces to me, minimum. And you can get them right now for $65 via 4PanthersFansOnly.com. So if you take the opportunity, then you do. If you don't, then what do I typically say? I mean, it's the day after Christmas, so I'm just gonna try and keep it PG today. But y'all know what I typically. I personally, you know, I just want, you know. But yeah, man, how you feeling, bro? You good? You straight? You can give us 30, 35?
Yeah. I'm making it. Yeah.
What did you get? What you wanted on your Christmas list?
I don't know if there was too much like on my Christmas list. I got a nice bottle of bourbon from my sister, so that was nice. Got a couple gas cards, some money, um,
Okay, the shit
little
you need
things
as
here
a
and
young
there.
adult.
Huh?
I said the shit you need as a young adult.
Yeah. I mean, my mom bought me a big ass tub of like cleaning supplies too. I was like, all right.
Hands
Uh,
moving. Yeah.
but
Shout
yeah.
out Mama Sizzle, man.
I got I got a couple of things. I still got some presents rolling in and stuff. I feel like I did a lot more shopping for people this year. Um,
As you
I,
should. That's what
yes, I
happened.
did.
Hey, chat. When you get the touching, you know what I'm saying? You know, when that shit start coming in a little different, nigga, you start making sure everybody else around you have a great Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, no, I was just in the Christmas spirit. So, I feel like I'm more so blessed everybody around me this year, which I'm glad I'm in a position to do so. So I won't complain about that. I'm more of a giver anyway, so uh,
For sure.
that's what kind of makes my Christmas, knowing that the people around me enjoyed the gifts that I got them. So it was nice though, all in all.
Good. Have some good food.
Yeah, yeah. Regular mac and cheese, chicken, ham, yams, collard greens, potato salad, whole
Thanksgiving
nine
2.0.
yards. Yeah, banana pudding. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, that's what's up. We did things a little bit different this year. We did baked spaghetti,
mm-hmm.
um, had some bunt cakes, and that's about it, man.
I see a lot of people had the
Nothing
steaks
crazy.
going this year. I see a
I
lot of
seen that
people
too,
had
bro.
steaks, salads. baked potatoes, which we
Hmm.
did it one year, a couple years ago, but it seemed like that was the move this year.
Yeah, it just be too much for me. Like I don't really like. I like Thanksgiving food. What I perceive Thanksgiving food to be, I like Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving. Like we used to do Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving food again on the Christmas. And I was just like, let's not do that shit this year. Let's do something different. And it was easy. Baked spaghetti is very, very easy. So I think J5 gonna end up getting on that grill sometime tonight. So I'm gonna have to fuck with him for Showski. That give me some of that chicken. My grandmama made some chicken salad last night. So I done touched a chicken salad sandwich or two. So
Or
hey,
two.
I'm good. Everything. Hey, relax, relax. See, that was just so unnecessary, bro. Just so unnecessary. It was. It was for sure. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let me see. Let me see. So just real quick, looking at the matchup, looking at the game, kind of giving our feelings about it. I'll go full here for a second. Like I said, the Carolina Panthers have yet another opportunity this week. To continue to develop. Number one, I know that developing in week 17 sounds crazy, but do not forget that this is a very, very young team with a very, very young coaching staff, specifically head coach in his second year. So again, another opportunity to develop, another opportunity to string a couple of wins together. Rather, excuse me. We know that this team over the last 8 or 9 weeks, it's been win lose win lose win lose win lose. So, um, opportunity to find that consistency against a very, very challenging opponent. The Carolina Panthers will be playing against the Seattle Seahawks. They are currently the number one seed in the NFC. The Carolina Panthers have played the Green Bay Packers, who at the time were the one seed, the Los Angeles Rams 3 or 4 weeks ago, who were at the time was the one seed. And so now the Carolina Panthers again have the opportunity to go up against the number one seed in the NFC. Huge, huge opportunity for the team to build up some more confidence. Because if I'm a player in the locker room, for me personally, if I'm a player in the locker room, we've already knocked off LA. We've already knocked off Green Bay, right? And these are two teams that a lot of people will say um, are the favorites to win the NFC. A lot of people feel differently, whatever the case may be. But those are two teams that a lot of people have making the Super Bowl. Specifically, when you look at the Los Angeles Rams, when you played them at the point in which you beat them, a lot of people said they were the best team in football. So you look at this opportunity against the Seattle Seahawks, top tier defense, a phenomenal wide receiver. Actually, statistically, the best wide receiver in the NFL this year, or second best. I'm not sure between him and Puka. However, huge challenge, great opportunity to get your hands on another receiver that has game breaking ability. Sam Darnold, we're familiar with his game. Former Carolina Panther starting quarterback. And honestly, I had us playing some competitive football down the stretch in November and December when Uncle Steve was here. So huge opportunity. I believe that the Carolina Panthers all time, if I'm not mistaken, are 5-11 against the Seattle Seahawks. But obviously the one that stands out to us is the win. I believe it was back in, well, I don't know, 2017 divisional round. I believe it was. When Jonathan Stewart came back from the injury, he had the huge run to kick the game off. We go up like 3 or 4 scores. Seattle fights back, and then ultimately we were able to pull it out. But that is one of the main matchups that stand out at this point in the year. And then also you have the year when we went to Seattle and Cam Chancellor jumped over the long snapper, blocked like 2 or 3 kicks that game, and we were just totally outmatched. So a team that we are familiar with, a team that we've played meaningful battles against in the past. Obviously, things look a lot different, but for me personally, I'm very, very excited. I will be in the building on Sunday, so just another opportunity to see this team perform on a big stage against a huge matchup, against a challenging opponent transparently, and kind of just getting you prepared for your week 18 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I personally assume will be a must win game. And then ultimately not to look too far ahead, but kind of getting you more prepared for the playoffs should you be blessed enough to make it. So that's where I'm at. Very excited for the matchup. and we'll talk about a little bit more about it. But I'll open the floor up to Terrence.
Yeah, and damn. I also think that something that you kind of missed there. This is also potentially a team that you could match up against in the playoffs as well. So I think that this will be, a good game to get in tune with that. But if I'm just thinking about it holistically, I don't see us winning this game just because, like you said earlier, just the back and forth, like win lose win lose. Like this is kind of the identity that this team has built, and then with the fact knowing that you can't lose the division in this particular game, and so I feel like they don't have that. They're not going up against that adversity like they were last week playing against Tampa Bay. But I mean, it gives you a chance because you are playing at home. But I think that this is a really good football team that we'll be facing. JSN has made himself known as one of the best receivers in the league currently, and I think he will be for a long time moving forward. Like Seattle was comfortable enough to move off of DK Metcalf because they believe that much in JSN, and I think he's proven that this year. So JC and Mike Jack will definitely have their hands full this week. Also with Cooper Cup as well, Kenneth Walker at running back, Charbonnet. This is a very good team offensively, and but I
Shaheed,
think you yeah,
Raheed,
Raheem Shaheed. Yeah.
yes,
So you definitely have your hands full. Very familiar with Sam Darnold. I'm sure he'll have a chip on his shoulder as well. So that's something to keep an eye out for because he did play for us. He did have us playing competitive football at one point. So I'm sure he'll have that chip on his shoulder coming back to Carolina, probably for his first time since he's left. Um, but I mean, it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a good test for us. Good tune-up game for that Tampa Bay game for potential playoff push as well. But I'm excited. I won't be in attendance, but I'm sure the stadium will be rocking like it was last week. Being what kind of implications you have on the line, I think it'll be a tough matchup. But we have the potential to win it. I just don't think we will. But that's kind of how I feel going into it.
all great insight, all great insight. And yeah, I mean, they have weapons, like you said, they have weapons. Sam Darnold has played well this year too. I mean, we also know Sam Darnold to be a guy that will turn that bitch over.
Yes.
So if you're looking for hope and you're a Carolina Panthers fan, one of the things that you can rest your hat on, I guess you could say, is the fact that Sam Darnold will turn that bitch over 1,000%, especially in a matchup like this. Um, but yeah, like you said, I agree with everything that you said. It is a huge matchup. Now I don't know if we'll necessarily lose, but I understand where you're coming from in that regard, and I could be biased. I could be biased.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the only thing that makes me feel a little differently is because we're playing at home. And it seems like this team really gets up to play games at home. Um, so that can be very big for us
Yeah,
going
and you make
forwards.
valid points too in regards to you having a huge matchup last week against Tampa Bay, and then you having that level of comfortability to say, "Hey, if we lose this week, then oh well, so be it. We'll go to Tampa Bay and we'll beat that Bucks team again for the second time in 3 weeks." So I totally understand your position in saying like, "Oh, this could be, you know, a trap game."
Yeah.
Right, and it sounds crazy because they're the one seed and we're on the brink of the playoffs, but sitting at the four right now. But it could be a trap game, quote unquote, for the Carolina Panthers just based on the situation.
Yeah, because like I've been saying throughout this whole season, like this is a young team, very young coaching staff. A lot of them haven't been in this position before, so there's a certain level of maturation that I think that you have to have going into a game like this. And I don't think so far throughout the season this team has necessarily displayed that as much as they could have. So that's what kind of leaves the door open, for Seattle potentially beating us at home. But I mean, I think it'll be a competitive game. Like I don't, if someone thinks that we'll win, I don't fault them for that because I can see ways that we could win this football game. But that's just currently how I'm feeling about the current state.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Um, React to Derek Brown not making the Pro Bowl this year. Now, obviously, with the change to the flag football game, right? I believe they only took three interior D linemen, 3 interior offensive linemen, so it's a little bit different. You don't have those alternates. But how do you feel about Derek Brown coming off of that injury, playing at the level that he's played this season? How do you feel about him not making the Pro Bowl?
Um, Obviously, I think it's nasty, but will I say I'm surprised? Not really, because when we go back and look at the season where he broke Aaron Donald's record, he still wasn't getting that recognition. People still weren't talking about him that much. He still wasn't in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. So I'm not surprised. And one, I think it's because Carolina is a small market team. Like if you put him on a team like the Rams, or you put him on a team like the Patriots or the Cowboys or something like that, then he would get that notoriety, no doubt. But I think that us being a small market team, people don't really pay attention to the Carolina Panthers, and it's like all in all, that's fine. That's fine with me. Just don't jump on the bandwagon when that time comes. But I think that that's all in all the reason that he didn't get voted to the Pro Bowl. But I think that if we're just going based off of numbers, if you turn on the film, if you watch his games, then you can completely see that that was a snub. But you also got to think about it. These are fans that's voting on it. And a lot of fans, with all due respect, are casuals. Like they're just going to watch the game on Sundays, and Carolina isn't going to be playing on a mainstream like media platform on a Sunday. They're not going to have that, that big spot on a Sunday. So a lot of people aren't going to get to see Derek Brown. And so I'm not very surprised that he didn't make it, even though I think based off statistics wise, just based off film, just based on the level of impact he's had on that defense this year, then I think he should have made it. But I understand, like I can see why he did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean it's just the same story every year. There's always like when you're a Carolina Panthers fan, we're always going to have the opportunity to be pissed off about one of our guys not making the Pro Bowl. It's just going to happen. I believe I can go back to Frankie Louvu. Obviously, that's if you're familiar with the show, Terrence will tell you as well. That's been one of my favorite Panthers over the past couple of years. Obviously, with the Washington Commanders now. But if you think about and look at the season that he had before he left, I mean, insane, and didn't make a Pro Bowl. Like Terrence just mentioned, same thing with Derek Brown. A couple of years back, 2 years back, when he broke the record for tackles by a defensive tackle, he still was extremely slept on then. And honestly, if we're as a Carolina Panthers fan, I'll be honest with you guys. Excuse me. There's a possibility that this may be more beneficial for us because at some point or another, you just assume Derek Brown gets pissed off for continuously getting shit on. You do. And if he is who I believe him to be, he's going to use that as fuel. And that might just be the fuel that we need for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he alluded to when they asked him about it in a press conference. And I see someone in the comments say it was media and coaches. That makes it even worse because, like, what are y'all
Because
watching?
they're not casuals. You expect
Yeah,
that from fans.
so it's like, what are y'all watching realistically? And I think it still boils down to the Panthers being a small market team, even when it comes to the media and it comes to the coaches. Like to me, that's nasty on their part. Like I don't understand that, but you know, what can you do?
Nothing. Nothing at all. That being said, J.C. Horn has made his second career Pro Bowl. Any reaction to that at all?
I'm not surprised. Like he's had a really good year. Like obviously there's some games that, he sticks out like a sore thumb, and we wish that he played better, especially against the Saints, Chris Olave. Um those games you can point back to and be like, damn, like what was he doing? But then you also point back to the first half of the 49ers game and you're like, okay, that's a Pro Bowl, all pro type cornerback.
With the
So
concussion.
yeah, with the concussion. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. I think it's rightfully deserved. I think he is one of the better corners in the league, top five corners in the league. So I'm really not surprised there. Just happy that at least somewhere is getting that notoriety. So, I mean,
And I would say you don't even have to go back as far as the San Francisco game. You can look at last week against Tampa Bay. I think it was like the first time in his career where he wasn't targeted. Had Mike Evans as hell and hell. I believe it was like 25 attempts, I believe it was for Baker, or maybe 28. 8 of them he was matched up with Mike Evans. None of those attempts from Baker Mayfield went to Mike Evans when J.C. Horn was the primary defender. So you again, you make valid points. There are certain games, specifically the New Orleans Saints games, which is just insane to me when you think about it, right? A 5-win team is the team that he struggles against the most. But you do have those two games where Vele and Olave have the ability to get off. But then, like you said, you look at the highs, and to me, the highs have been higher than the lows have been low. So shout out to JC Horn for that. Again, it's always great seeing Carolina Panthers players receiving the recognition and acknowledgement that we feel as though they deserve. Obviously, more times than not, we're coming from a biased place just because this is who we spend the most time around in regards to film study and watching the games, et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at JC Horn play, it's very, very clear that he is, in fact, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. And a lot of people within this fan base will make the argument that he is the best cornerback in the NFL, especially when you look at Surtain and some of the injuries that he's dealt with this season, some of the struggles that he's had. I guess you could put Jalen Johnson up there, right? So there are a couple of guys that you'd be willing to have the conversation about. But JC Horn is, no matter who you are, deserves to be in that conversation every single time it comes up at being top 3, top 5, and maybe even top 1, depending on who you're speaking to. So shout out to JC Horn. We do have a super chat here, so round of applause for that. Shout out to Will. Will, welcome back, bro. Good to see you. Will said, I want the dub, but teams develop and leaving injury free for week 18 is paramount. I totally agree. I totally agree. And this is the conversation that Terrence, I actually I want to hear your opinion on this. This is actually a great point from Will. As it pertains to the team leaving injury free. If you're the coaching staff, right? And a lot of people, and I think I've made a comment about this maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it wasn't I didn't really give you an opportunity to touch on this, and I'm interested to know what you have to say. You're Dave Canales, right? You know the injuries that we suffer from. Obviously, we saw today in Dave Canales' press conference, it's been announced that Trevin Wallace is having season-ending shoulder surgery, so we won't have him for the remainder of the year. Robert Hunt, we look back at week 2, the torn biceps, some of the injuries to the offensive line, et cetera, et cetera. Terrence is Dave Canales. This week 17 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks does not have as much juice on it, pause, because you were able to win against Tampa Bay. If Terrence is Dave Canales, is this a game in which you consider for a split second as sitting your starters?
No, no. And I knew you were going there. And the reason I say no, because I go back again, like this is a young team, a lot of young guys who haven't been in this position before. They need these reps. Like these are the kind of games that these guys need to play in because you need to be able to feel that pressure. And then your team has momentum. Like you just beat Tampa Bay in a big game for you to have the chance to fight for a playoff spot. So you have momentum, and I think that that's something that you have to continue to build off of. You don't need to, and you're in a rhythm, like you're in a rhythm right now. This wouldn't be the game where it's like, okay, against a opponent like Seattle, when you could be facing a team like that first round of the playoffs, you need to get in and you need to take your licks. Injuries is a part of football. If you step on that football field, you can't go in thinking, am I going to get injured today? Because if you do, then you probably are going to get injured. It's a part of the game. So I don't think that this is a game that you take off or that you sit your starters, given the situation you're in, given how young your team is, given the momentum you have, given the rhythm that your team is in, given the opponent that they're playing that can prepare you for the Tampa Bay game or even for, a playoff game round 1. So I don't think that this is a game that you sit your starters, just given all of those scenarios personally.
Yeah, I totally agree. When we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, it was kind of swirling around Twitter, I want to say this may have been week 13 or 14 where, people started looking ahead and saying, hey, look, if we do XYZ and we're in a situation in which week 18 is for all the marbles, I personally would consider sitting the starters. And even at that time, I did not subscribe to that belief. I am very, very superstitious. I'm very spiritual, but I'm also very, very superstitious. And so I believe that when you do shit like having a week 17 matchup at home against a one seed, when you do shit like try and cheat the football gods and trying to sit your starters, I believe that goes wrong for you come week 18.
Yes, for sure. That's
I,
when
I
shit starts to happen.
yeah, 1000%. I'm fully, and that shit may sound crazy. It might sound like a contradiction to some people, me saying spirituality and kind of like, you know, intertwining that with superstition. But I'm very, very superstitious. I'll be honest with you. I believe in the baseball guys. I believe in the basketball. I believe when you do fuck shit as it pertains to sports, more times than not, that fuck shit comes and bites you in the ass.
And,
1000%.
and I mean, this team hasn't earned the right to sit any starters. Like, if
Facts.
we just go
Facts.
back and look over the season, like the games that you've lost, i.e., the New Orleans Saints or against the Arizona Cardinals, like when you go and look at the games you lost, I mean, you don't have a reason you're not the Los Angeles Rams. Like, you don't have, you're not that team that you're like, oh, I'm gonna just sit my starters this
You
week.
don't
You
got
haven't
no
earned that
pull.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, and niggas haven't been to the playoff in 8 years, bro.
yeah, and
Like,
you owe that to your fans. Like, come on now. Like, you seen the way that the stadium was rocking last week. Like, you seen the way the fans were balled in. You owe that to your fans. Like, you people that are paying their hard-earned money to come to the games. Like, why the fuck are you sitting your starters? You haven't done nothing. You haven't earned that right.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, shout out to you for the super chat, bro. Really appreciate that. That is a huge conversation because even though it's no longer as loud as it was on social media now, as loud as it was then, I'm sure those conversations are still happening. Whether they're on social media or elsewhere off of social media, I'm sure those conversations are happening. And to be quite frank, I'm sure that week 11, 12, 13, whenever it was, I'm sure that the Carolina Panthers front office and coaching staff had that conversation just because I believe that these guys prepare at another level. So I believe that they thought that this could potentially be a possibility heading into week 17 against the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm sure the conversation came up. And I'm sure that the coaching staff, as well as the front office, is kind of thinking very similar to us in regards to you haven't done shit. It's been 8 years since you've been to the playoffs, 10 years since you won the division. On top of that, your team is extremely young, like Terrence mentioned a second ago. So all of these reps, when you're going up against all of these one seeds and teams that have the ability to come out and punch you in the mouth and make you grind it out for victory and things like that, all of that stuff is very, very important and it's imperative for your growth. A lot of people will say that the Carolina Panthers are quote unquote ahead of schedule. These are the type games that get you prepared for whether it's next year or 2 years from now, when you're actually making a Super Bowl push. These are the moments in which you have the ability and the opportunity to grow and develop. So when we do get in dog fights and week 17 against a one seed does mean a little bit more, you are prepared and you know how to approach the situation. So I personally think that there's no benefit at all to sitting any of your guys. Now, obviously, like if you wanted to say, let's say Trevin Wallace, for example, was scheduled to come back this week, but you wanted to be a little bit cautious with him because he has been dealing with the shoulder injury, stuff like that. I get that. I understand that. Let's say it was J.C. Horn, right? We know his injury history. Let's say he was struggling with injuries this year and he's missed 4 or 5 games, whatever the case may be, and he was scheduled to come back this week. Then there's a conversation to be had about that. But as far as your team pretty much being overwhelmingly healthy, no matter how you try and slice it and how you look at it, as far as taking that team and cheating the football gods and saying we don't want anybody to get hurt this week, so next week we're gonna, or so this week we're gonna sit everybody, and next week we'll be 100% healthy. That to me is just horseshit. I
Yeah,
do not subscribe to that belief at all.
like I would see another situation like Robbie Hunt. Like, I think
Yes,
his window is open up, but I haven't heard anything about him actually coming back. But if it
yeah,
was like this would be one of the games where it's like, sit out for another week. We got next week.
Yes, and we'll go right to that. We'll go right to the injury report. Let me make sure you guys can see this. All right, perfect. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out everybody that's viewing right now and watching all around the world. Appreciate y'all all for tuning in. So obviously, like we mentioned, if you guys did not have the opportunity to watch Dave Canales' presser today, he did announce that Trevin Wallace is going to be having season-ending shoulder surgery. Something interesting, or not necessarily interesting, but just something for the Carolina Panthers fan base and Panther Nation to be focused on, or just to think about. This is the second year in a row in which Trevin Wallace has had the inability to close the season out. Now, you could take that however you want to take it, but last year, I believe it was a lower body injury that ended up sidelining him for 2 or 3 weeks, and he was done for the year. Now, obviously, the situation was a bit different because we weren't playing for anything, so you could look at that as being precautionary in that moment. But again, he's only a second-year guy. This is his second year, and again, yet another season-ending injury, so less than ideal on that front. And I will say this, Trevin Wallace has come on and has kind of come into his own, in my opinion. That being said, I did hear a couple of stats on TikTok, so y'all might have to check this shit because y'all know how I get. But Roseboom and Trevin Wallace are two of the worst coverage corners or coverage linebackers in the NFL, and I damn near don't even need confirmation from them.
Yeah.
I can turn the film on and see that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, 1,000%. Tremel said, bro, a lemon. I don't think I'm gonna put the lemon tag on him. I don't know if I want to go that far.
Give him a little bit more time. But if it continues to happen, especially for his level of play, it's like I feel like you don't even play that good for you to be always injured and just think that we're just gonna keep you around.
So only 2 guys, right? Only 2 guys. Well, Turk Wharton. That's a whole nother conversation, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna continue to live in the moment and be positive because I like FPFO when we have this tone. But during the off season, we're gonna have some real conversations about that nigga. We're gonna have some real conversations about him for sure. I just want y'all to know that this is Turk Wharton's 3rd game missing because he tripped on one of his teammates in practice and fucked his hamstring off. This is a guy that we're paying $23.5 million a year that really has not produced at a $23.5 million level transparently.
Legal robbery.
Yeah, 1,000%. Right? But this is when we talk about the what was it that we were calling? What were we calling it this off season? The trash tax. That's what this is the situations that you run into when you get hit with the trash tax. When you're a Carolina Panthers team that hasn't made the playoffs in 8 years, can't really retain much talent, even when it's homegrown. When you look at a McCaffrey, a Jeremy Chin, a Brian Burns, et cetera, DJ Moore, right? This is what happens when you're not playing at a high level and playing competitive football consistently. You have to pay a trash tax, and you end up paying $23.5–24 million for Turk Wharton to get minimal production and to get multiple missed starts. Multiple. Because these are just the most recent 3. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think he's missed like 3 or 4 prior to this game.
Yeah, he's missed time earlier in the season.
Early in the year.
And then when he was in there, he wasn't really doing shit anyway.
He wasn't doing shit. He wasn't. So very frustrated on that front. But again, we'll dive more into that during the offseason because I don't want to change the tonality. I understand the significance of the games coming up. So I'm just going to leave it there. But for all the Turk Wharton truthers out there, y'all have to show me or prove me wrong. Because right now, I think Tremel, you wanted to say Trev was a lemon. I believe Turk is a fucking lemon. Because he don't play. And when he does play, it's ass. It's mediocre. It's something that JJ could do. It is. one tackle a game, shit like that. I can go on the NFL field right now at this size and this condition, and I promise you I could average a tackle and a half.
I don't know about that, bro.
Oh no, nigga, I don't need you to know, nigga. I'm telling you something, nigga, that I know.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I think you think you
1000%.
know that, but that's just not going like that.
Tremel said Lemon and the thief. Nah, for real. On God, Tremel. Damn it, Lemon and the thief. Yeah, just sad, bro. Just sad. And unfortunately, I was in a group that's bobbing into propaganda of Turk Wharton. They were posting pictures of his legs and how stocky his lower body was, how strong it
See,
looked in his quads.
that's nasty.
Niggas just stroking off to his size, paws, you know. And then when it's game time, when it's go time, he gives us nothing. He's irrelevant. He's mediocre. You know, we're having conversations about starting Bobby Brown over him. So shout out Bobby Brown for coming in and making the impact. So that's what I'll say on that. Oh yeah, see, here we go. A comment right here. You know. Yes, I love this. I love that, but I'll save it for the time being. Ikem Aquanu was back this week. Great to see. And then the remainder of the tags or the designations for the game, 2 questionables coming from Robert Hunt and David Moore. These are 2 guys, like Terrence just said, these are 2 guys in which I believe you chill on. There's no reason, in my opinion, for David Moore or Robert Hunt to come back this week. Just no reason for it, honestly. Now, if they're ready to go next week, you roll them out there and let's play. Let's play. Let's ball. But this week, no need for them. No need for David Moore or Robert Hunt to come back this week. There's just simply no need. Now, if you want to look at Robert Hunt's situation and say, we want to get him up to game shape and in-game shape as fast as possible, then I guess I would be willing to have a conversation about that. But outside of that, neither one of those guys are going to add enough coming off an injury for it to change the trajectory of this game. Whether that's a win, loss, or draw, either one of those guys playing this week is not going to change that, in my opinion. Let's look at Seattle here. He was nice. Hey, and I don't want people to get it misconstrued. Turk Wharton was nice when he played for Kansas City.
Especially in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, especially in the Super Bowl. He was the only defender playing hard for them niggas. And he was sliding on everything. He was. Unfortunately, he didn't bring that same juice to Carolina. He didn't. That's a fact. That's a fact. He didn't. Let's see. 2 guys out for excuse me, for the Seattle Seahawks. These are two big pieces to their team, in my opinion. You got Kobe Bryant starting safety, and Charles Cross, their starting offensive tackle, both being deemed out for this game on Sunday. So the Carolina Panthers kind of get a break with those 2 there. Expect Nick Scorton to have a sack and a half this week. That is my bold proclamation
for your sake.
This week. Nick Scorton, 2 sacks. You said for my sake?
Yeah, money purposes. You need that.
Oh, yes. Actually, yes, I do. I don't even know what possessed me really to like set his line so high. Because I really should have just set it at 3.5. I feel like that would have been fair.
No, I got you, actually.
Yeah, you finessed me. You did. You got me.
Per usual.
Yeah, you got me. You got me on that. I got you on the Excel shit, and so we'll end up canceling.
And I got you on the Excel yards.
How much was that for again? I don't think I'm gonna pay that.
100 and something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm paying that.
Yeah. Yes, you will, nigga.
But I think that we had
no, bro.
X amount of targets, I believe.
No, we did. No, we didn't.
I think I do, bro. I'm telling you, I do believe that.
No, we did. No, we didn't.
Let me go see. What was an Excel bet for 1,000?
It's just $1,000.
Yeah, see that shit ain't even in my notes no more.
Yeah, I bet it ain't, nigga. It's in mine, so we good.
I don't know if that I think that bet I
You
think
know,
we might have canceled that bet.
no, bro. We've been talking about that all season. You're paying that bet.
It's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I'll get my shit back when we win 9 games. And I'll get my shit back when my defense finishes top 15. So I'm not too worried. And I'll get my shit back on the XL drops. So we good. We straight. I'm
We'll
living.
see. We'll
I'm
see.
living. I'm living. Do you have a play ready? Let's do play of the day. You have it.
Nope, don't have it, but I can get it.
Okay. 1 sec, chat. Bear with us.
My FanDuel isn't loading, of course.
Yes, I love her like. Oh, yes, I love her like. Oh, yes, I love her like. Oh, yes, I love her like.
I'm ready.
Okay. Perfect. Chat, I see y'all on my top about the XL bet. He caught me at a moment of vulnerability. But he typically does that. He always takes advantage of me like that. And he's not the only one. So that's just how it goes, unfortunately. He does. You do. You do.
That's on you, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
It's fine. I'm gonna get my shit back. I'm not worried.
All
I'm
right,
not worried at all.
My play. I have a four leg. So 4 leg plus 305. Carolina Panthers plus 10. Bryce Young 175 passing yards. T Mac 50 receiving yards. Rico Dowdle 40 rushing yards. Plus 305. That should be very doable. Rico Dowdle needs like 70 some scrimmage yards or something to get $1 million. So
Yeah. Heavy eyes on incentives for Rico Dowdle this week. And next at that. I have one that I like a lot, actually. Bryce Young, alt rushing 10 plus yards. T Mac 60 plus receiving, and Zach Charbonnet for 30 or more rushing yards. That's a plus 354. I like that one a lot. If you get scared off by Charbonnet, tease him back down to 20 and get Carolina Panthers to cover 8.5. Very simple. Very simple and very doable. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a question that we may be able to answer for you next week, buddy. Coker being an undrafted free agent, how does his next contract work? I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question because I'm pretty sure he only has this year left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go see if we can find that real quick. Since we're here. Excuse me. Okay, Jalen Coker signed a 2-year, $1.755 million undrafted free agent contract with the Carolina Panthers in 2024, including a $25,000 signing bonus and $225,000 guaranteed. Placed on IR due to injury. His contract details show escalating base pay with cap hits for the Panthers, and he's shown potential for future extensions. So this is the last year on his deal. So long story short, Long story short, you got to pay him
Yep.
because I'm pretty sure he's unrestricted. I'm pretty sure he's unrestricted. Excuse me. You got to pay him because XL ain't done shit enough for you to be confident and let him walk. Because as far as I'm concerned, transparently, if we're just being honest and having an honest conversation, and a lot of y'all might not like this, and it honestly pains me to say, but once David Moore comes back, XL, unfortunately, XL's rep share may be in jeopardy when David Moore comes back. I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest with y'all and tell y'all that right now, especially depending on how productive David Moore is going to be able to be coming off of that injury. But if he comes back and he's hooping, right? Because we saw him have a very productive off season this summer in training camp, and he was very involved. What was that for week 1? If I'm not mistaken, he had like 2 or 3 catches before his shit got broke already before he got injured. If I'm not blazing that, so we know that this is a Dave Canales guy and David Moore. And unfortunately, again, XL has had opportunity after opportunity to separate himself from the rest of the room. He's had opportunity after opportunity to solidify himself as wide receiver 2 alongside T-Mac, and he just simply hasn't done it. Jalen Coker, outside of the first 2 weeks of him coming back from injury, he's been exceptionally productive. He just simply has. Whether it's been 1 catch or 2 catches, it's been a touchdown, it's been a bomb, right? It's been a big play and a big moment in which we needed somebody to step up. Xavier Leggett, unfortunately, has not done that for us. He just simply hasn't. And when you look at that, coupled with the fact that David Moore is a bit quicker, in my opinion, off the line than XL is, he fits kind of that slot mold a little bit more when you talk about potentially moving Coker back outside. Right, I know he does a lot of his best work in the slot, but we've also seen him over the past 3 or 4 weeks get a couple of touchdowns being outside and just simply running a go route and being better than the cornerback that's across from him. So, yeah, Xavier Leggett is going to have a come to Jesus meeting this offseason
He's
if we're
top.
being 100% transparent. He just is. Because he's honestly teetering on the line of potentially being shipped. He is. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. I know that probably sounds crazy coming from me, but I'm just telling y'all, we just have to be honest because though this year has been fun and it's been a great ride and it's nowhere near being over, everybody is saying that this team is overperforming and that this team was destined to break out next year. If that is the case and that is the fact and that is the stance that we're going with, you must trim all fat. You must trim all fat and you must shore up all holes because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And when we're talking about Xavier Leggett and that wide receiver room in particular, when you look at the production that you've gotten from T-Mac, you look at the production that you've gotten from Coker, you look at what David Moore has been able to do a little bit in his time here, right? It gets kind of messy, bro. It does. It gets kind of messy, especially when you're talking about a team that values its draft capital. Especially when you're talking about a team that needs multiple linebackers for depth purposes, a team that needs multiple edge rushers for depth purposes, and even a starter because DJ Wanham hasn't been on shit all year, right? So yeah, those conversations again, they're very, very premature. But I'm just telling y'all, don't be surprised if y'all see Xavier Leggett's rep share go down a tad bit once David Moore gets back in the game shape, if that is this season. So yeah, that's my 5-minute rant. My apologies. Yeah, and Jimmy Horn Jr. is a guy that I didn't mention either, but he has a little more flexibility from a receiver standpoint. He has a bit more flexibility than Xavier Leggett does. He just simply does. So yeah, but also I'm not as sold on Xavier Leggett, or excuse me, I'm not as sold on Jimmy Horn as a lot of y'all are either. Because a lot of y'all are on y'all knees behind Jimmy Horn Jr. and he's not that yet. He's just simply not. Not to me. Not to me. Score predictions and then we'll wrap up.
Um, 2017 Seattle.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. I had it 23-20 Seattle. Unfortunately, 23-20. 23-20. And that pains me to say. I think that's only the second time that I've predicted us to lose this year, if I'm not mistaken. The first time was against Buffalo. I got slandered. I got slandered. Hung from across.
Yeah, but it's not. It's because you came up here acting like we were gonna win. That was the problem.
I came over here popping shit.
Yeah, and then you had us losing. It was very soft. The
I
people
really
remember.
think that we can. I really think that we can win this week. To be honest, I really do. Actually, I'm gonna change my shit. 26-23 Carolina. That's what I want my official prediction to be. 26-23 Carolina. Because yeah, they can stop our run game, but if they're gonna try and make us throw the football, then me betting against us or me saying that we're gonna lose would me admitting that I don't believe that Bryce Young can go toe to toe with Sam Darnold. And unfortunately, at this point in my Bryce Young journey, I'm not ready to say that he can't go toe to toe with that sorry motherfucker there. I'm just not. So hopefully Bryce Young doesn't make me a liar. But it wouldn't be his first time. Shout out 9. Well, that's just some hating shit.
Yes, you know this.
I'm just saying, bro. It's just all true. I'm just saying. QJ has it 37-34. Interesting.
Damn.
It's a lot of points. Very, very quickly as we wrap, Max Crosby.
What about him? I mean, I keep seeing the comments, but it's just way too early. Like, if you have a chance to get him, then go get him. But I feel like
2 first?
Huh?
2 first?
2 first? I don't know.
I'd personally give up 2 first for him.
First and a second, maybe.
Nothing else. Maybe a first and a second. Or I'd even go a first and a fourth and potentially throw in XL.
Yes, I like that.
But if we're just talking about straight draft capital, 2 first. I'd give up 2 first for Max Crosby right now. But I would have to look at his contract because if he only has a year or 2 left, we would have to have a deal in place, like an extension for 3 or 4 more years, and then I would do the 2 first. But
yeah, I don't.
Oh my God, if we got Max and Process Blue, yeah. Hey, niggas think that I talk crazy now, and we're rolling out DJ Wanham. let us get our hands on Mad Max and put him on the other side of Nick's Gordon. Lord, oh my God, with JC and Mike. Hey, you know another thing that I love, bro? Hey, chat, listen to me. Another thing that I love as we wrap, another thing that I love is that Terrence absolutely despised Mike Jackson as a cornerback last year. And now, like, Mike Jackson is having, like, a fucking outstanding year as a cornerback, like, damn near top 15 in the league. I love it. But
what does that mean for me?
You can call me a prophet or you can't. It really just resides.
All right, man. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. This has been FPFO Live. Again, I will be in the building on Sunday. If you see me, say what's up. Hopefully, I can convince Terrence to come with me. Hopefully, we can get this sickness out of his body so we can go rock the bank a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we will be on site. Another thing coming up. I guess you could say breaking news, but we were going to make the trip to Tampa Bay week 18. But that's no longer happening. Are you even gonna be in town week 18?
I don't think so.
You're not gonna be in town on Sunday?
I will be driving back Sunday. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I just need you to drive back at like 5 or 6 a.m. because we need to have a watch party.
We'll talk.
We'll discuss that a little bit later on, I guess. Also, I just want to say, if y'all were wondering why we're no longer going to Tampa.
Yeah, my plans have been in place. They were never to go to Tampa ever.
Those were your
plans.
You don't have to argue because I know that you're sick, but that is such a lie.
Those were your plans. Those were your plans. I had this trip booked. I've had this trip booked for months, literally months.
And we've had this damn near booked for months too. We have. I've been trying to tell you that week 18 was going to be for a divisional title,
And
that we were
especially,
going to Tampa. And you're like,
I
okay, no problem.
I wasn't making plans to go to Tampa if I didn't think it would be for a divisional title anyway. I just wasn't going to Tampa just to fucking go to watch meaningless football.
And the problem is that you didn't trust me enough to take what I was
Yeah,
trying to tell you.
but why?
Damn it, book it.
But why would
That's
I?
on you. That's on you. That's on you, nigga. It is. I've been trying to tell you that week 18 was going to be for the marbles. But cool,
Well,
let them lose. Let them lose to Miami this week. I don't have no issue. Chat, I will tell y'all, as I'm watching the Carolina Panthers game, I will have every update of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Miami Dolphins game on my phone. I will be watching the game cast of that game. Fins up. Ain't that they're saying?
yeah.
Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody. Are you guys going to stream the Tampa game? Yes. Something for FPFO will be happening on Sunday. On that Tampa game, week 18, something will be happening. It may be a watch party if Terrence is able to get back fast enough. If not, then we'll do like live game reactions, very similar to what I did a couple of weeks back for Tampa and Atlanta. But something will be happening week 18 for that Tampa Bay and Carolina Panthers game for the division. That will be happening 1,000%. So you guys can go ahead and turn your bell notification on right now for that if you're watching on YouTube. So you guys are notified for everything that we do, including that stream, whatever it'll be. Also tap in with us on social media at For Panthers Fans Only on TikTok and Instagram at FPFO_podcast on X. Tap in with us on all DSPs as well if you're interested in just listening to the pod. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, those drop as well then. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on, share with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Terrence, thanks, brother. I admire your admiration to push through.
Yeah, don't mention it.
But then again, why would I ever suck a nigga's dick for doing his fucking job?
Oh my god. All right, man. I'm out. See you guys. Y'all enjoy. Be safe. Get out of the sickness. And pray for me that I